Don't you get it? I'm gonna splatter Grandma!
Well, that's a real shame. But we're not cops and we're not from some charity organization. Sorry, lady, but we don't protect or serve. This is strictly business.
Hi, my name's Lofty, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about one of my favourite activities in Star Citizen, which is player bounty hunting. Obviously it comes with a lot of frustrations and pitfalls, but one of the things that I really enjoy about player bounty hunting is the ability to track down players in lots of different immersion scenarios. In particular, I really love FPS bounties, where I can park up my ship, I can get out of my ship and I can hunt someone down while they're doing something on a planet, or in this case, as we see, they're doing the Breach and Steal mission. So I'm just going to go and hunt them down. And one of the things that I love about doing this as well is it feels legitimate to me. It feels this is what you would do if you were a bounty hunter. You wouldn't just nuke them out of space, because that might not be the deal of the bounty. It's suspect apprehension. So we kind of want to apprehend the suspect rather than just nuking them out of the sky, which is also fun, don't get me wrong, but I enjoy this method because it feels a lot more legitimate to me. So here we are. So we have apprehended the suspect, which in reality is just sent into Clasher, into prison, which is cool nonetheless, but it would be nice if we could have more to do in this regard, which I know SIG are working on, so that's fine. One of the things that you find when you bounty hunt is that you'll be chasing someone and they tend to jump away quite a bit, so it's quite hard to target them. And one of the things that you can do, obviously, is if they're going for it, is to head them off at Security Post Korea, which is the place that they go to clear their wanted level, their crime stat. So getting to this place, getting the mission, you can get in there. You can go and hunt them inside this place with some AI NPCs if you get the mission. If not, you're trespassing and you have to deal with them. But and I think this was in fact one of my first bounties that I ever did. So I was really pleased because it was an FPS bounty. So it took the guy out as he was trying to clear his wanted level, which is obviously it's a good little choke point. You're not always going to get lucky and get people here, but when you do it does feel very, very satisfying to get them. And again, I can just leave the security post, jump back to my ship, and just zip out of here. Job done. Which to me is like the closest sort of representation of being a bounty hunter, you know, either like Mandalorian or Boba Fett or something like that, you know. One of the things you find with player bounties is a lot of players like to hang out at Grimhex, because Grimhex is the only unmonitored little bit of system in the Stanton system, unless you obviously take on a comlink. It's a funny little clip here where I took on a bounty and the guy was literally right here. He was just right here, which I wasn't expecting. So yeah, funny. But what you tend to find is that people with bounties will just sit in Grimhex for ages. You know, you can just follow them around. They're not really doing anything much. Just stood looking at terminals, buying upgrades for ships. And they just tend to hang out here. And there's not really any way to combat this. Not really any way to hunt your target. Another way that you can head people off sometimes is that if they head for the comlinks, obviously they need to get out of their ship in order to hack the comm array. And we've managed to get this guy as he's on his way back, hiding in the shadows. I think he actually had a friend in the ship over there as well. But I really don't care because we got the bounty. And again, just another FPS mission. I think again this time it's Breach and Steal. Sometimes you'll come across situations where there will be other players hunting the same target as you. And in this case, I love this one because you get to go in the reclaimer, the target's in here. And I can just move through the ship and try and hunt him down, which is really cool, going from space to my ship, from space to this ship. But what you find sometimes is other people beat you to it. And I didn't even manage to get a hit on this guy. But there is a nice system in place at the moment where it seems that if I'm in the same proximity, or if I've got a hit off, or I've engaged in some way, that I still complete the contract and I still get the money for it. So it's not a complete waste, which is kind of cool. But yeah, that was a really cool little moment there. And one of the things that I've really noticed as well is that having an Avenger Titan, it doesn't really cut the mustard when it comes to ship-to-ship combat. So I decided to go for something a little bit more overpowered. And I've bought myself an Aegis Eclipse because, again, in the vein of being a bounty hunter, I'm not trying to get into direct confrontation with people into dogfights, in my own opinion. I'm trying to hit them with these size 9 torpedoes as a stealth fighter, so I can go within 5 kilometers of them sometimes without being detected, and hit them with this size 9 torpedo, which is just an insta-kill. And that to me is extremely satisfying. Just flying past something and then just absolutely annihilating it. Now, I must stress this is a very niche tactic to hunt people with. It's very hit and miss. You have to target people in medium or larger ships, really, because anything smaller than that and it just won't hit them. You'll have trouble targeting really small fighters because certain missiles have minimum engagement distance, so you need to be able to target bigger ships with a bigger EM signature. I'm using the EM Sidewinders here, and you can see this person used countermeasures that didn't work because of the EM signature, so that was really satisfying. Really enjoy this kind of hitting a target and then running away, zipping in a stealth bomber. People have no idea what hit them. I've had a couple of people even say, like, what the hell was that? The ship just exploded, that kind of thing. And that to me is really satisfying gameplay and in the ethos of being a bounty hunter. A lot of the time what you'll find is people end up in a safe zone, this case Arcorp, but most of the time it's Grim Hex, and what people tend to do is just sit in the bloody safe zone for ages. They have a bounty on them, and they either go and pay it off, so you've travelled all that way for nothing and you don't get any recompense, or they just end up logging out, which is what happens in this scenario. This guy, I'm sitting watching him for 10-15 minutes or whatever here in Arcorp. He's in the safe zone and then he just logs out, and there isn't any compensation for player bounty hunters for their time there. I fail the contract, I don't get any credits, nothing happens. I lose reputation, in fact, for failing that contract, which I don't think it should be like that. But it can also sometimes, again in very niche circumstances, work to your favour. This is another really cool little bounty clip where I'm hunting a guy on Hurston somewhere, Jumptown I think it is, whatever the Jumptown's called in Hurston, and he's on the ground, he's in the drug production facility, he's loading up his ship with drugs, and I'm trying to get there. Couldn't get close because of all this like crazy space battle going on. The sun's setting, it looks absolutely spectacular. Ships flying all over, laser beams just hitting everything. I think they're even attacking my ship, so it's NPCs versus players. This guy's on the ground. I'm trying to get there as fast as I can to try and take him out. Just as I crest the hill, there's a ship that's attacking him. There's another couple of ships coming in, firing lasers off all over the place. And he manages to take off, and I'm like, oh, great. What am I meant to do now? I've got to get back to my ship somehow, quickly, before he dies. So anyway, I managed to track him back down again, got into my ship. I'm only in a Titan, so there's not really a lot I can do to him. I just decided to unload absolutely everything on him. So as I'm taking him out, he's going down, and again, just logs out. Either crashes, logs out, whatever. But there's no recompense for me, fail the contract, his ship gets taken down. But luckily, his ship crashes into the planet's surface. I can land my ship and go and try and salvage the wreck, and I find a packet of drugs, which is great, because then I can go and sell that so everything's not lost. And this is a really cool little thing that you can do. I could have a salvaging ship that I could come and salvage all of the materials from this ship from, or, try and do something else with it. Don't know. But I'm able to sell my package of drugs for about 11k, which isn't a total loss, not as much as the bounty was originally for, but at the same time, I still didn't lose everything out of that little interaction, so that's good. But yeah, overall, in my opinion, it's one of the most fun game loops you can do because it's PvP, you're not essentially in direct combat most of the time, and it's sort of like a little detective thing that you can do, which is I think is really kind of cool. Again, I like on foot, you know, it makes more sense to me that you'd be apprehending people. I can't wait until Sid bring in their proposed changes with all of the suspect apprehension stuff, taking bodies to facilities, which I don't know how much of a drag that's actually going to be. Whether that's actually going to be fun or tedious, who knows. But any improvement to the bounty system, again, this is one of the most egregious examples, is the God marker. Don't agree with having a God marker over a player. It should be their last spotted location whenever they use a terminal, the mobiGlas, which I know is in development at the moment. So I'm looking forward to the future of bounty hunting. Thank you very much. I'm sorry if I've sent you to Klesher in the past, but yeah, that was my little video essay on what bounty hunting is and why I like it and why I think it's one of the most enjoyable game loops in Star Citizen. So thank you very much for watching. If you made it all the way through this video, please do all that usual YouTube stuff of liking and subscribing. Thanks very much, guys. Peace out.